WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, so in addition to the WCB Podcast, it's Jarom, it's Tanner. What's up, bud?
Doing okay. We're picking 2, so that's nice. We didn't fall, but we didn't go anywhere.
This was the first time since 2010 that the draft order stayed exactly the same after the draft lottery.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a little bored. The movement's been kind of weak. The best was COVID year when it was one of the playoff teams got to choose first, which was with New York.
Or probably
that was a wild one.
Was the last big one New Jersey?
I don't remember.
Normal.
Yeah, apparently Taylor Hall doesn't mean shit. So, well, actually, and maybe his magic is when he's healthy to end the season.
He didn't play
next year.
Yeah.
Next year, we'll get that James Haggins kid. That'd be sick.
Yeah, so we'll talk draft lottery. We got a re-signing of an RFA that we talked about last week. We got an update on the AHL, and then we're going to put a stop to a lot of rumors we've been seeing on social media about a trade from a certain northern Canadian team involving, just north of the border, I should have said.
Just a Canadian
team involving a forward and an overpaid defenseman from Chicago going the other way. And then we'll get into some second round predictions, first round recap, award predictions, and we'll just let this run. So you want to start with the draft lottery, the big news?
Yeah, might as well.
So
go for it.
Tonight was the draft lottery. Hawks had the second best chance of moving up, and as we already stated, nobody changed. Stayed exactly the same. Celebrini is a San Jose Shark, and now the debate begins. Who do the Hawks take at 2?
Yeah. Who do they take at 2? I personally think taking that right-handed defenseman out of Michigan State would be pretty sick.
I agree. You have sold me on him.
Yeah. Just because we have so many left-handed defensive prospects that getting somebody on the right side would be perfect to while we're in this age range, have him, Vlasic, Korchinski, all just for the foreseeable future, which would be pretty awesome. But if they do go with that Russian winger, that Demidov kid, I can't say that I wouldn't be happy about it still.
Well, yeah, that tweet I sent you guys where the guy's I'm happy for San Jose for getting Celebrini. But unfortunately, the Chicago Blackhawks are going to get to pick either the walking Russian highlight reel or the top defensive prospect in this draft. So either way, the Blackhawks win.
Yeah,
and it's a great
now. I think it's more exciting than last year. I shouldn't say that because it was very exciting to get Connor Bedard. I like the mystery of what the Hawks are going to do a little bit, which is pretty great. It was just the anticipation last year of get the call down, don't waste any time. Now I'm just kind of let's hear what are they leaning towards? What are they doing? What's the thought process? That'd be fun.
Yeah, we have something to talk about up until June now. We can look at different pits, different prospects, different options, because honestly, I know this one isn't is considered as deep as last year's class was, but it's still a really good draft class. And you can probably make a case for guys ranked 2nd to 10 for the top 3.
Maybe
not the 10, but there's a good chunk of guys
2 through 6, 7, 8, maybe.
Yeah, there's a good chunk of guys that you can make an argument for the Hawks taking at 2.
Yeah, I hope that they don't go left-handed defensemen at all.
Yeah,
it's there's some people putting other guys up there that are pretty high on there's another Russian defenseman, or I shouldn't say another Russian defenseman. There's a Russian defenseman. This kid's 6'7". He's left-handed. He was playing in the KHL last year. There's that Sam Dickinson kid who I think would be great if we got, but again, just because he's a left-handed defenseman, I feel let's not.
He's the one from the Knights, right?
Yeah, he played for the London Knights. 70 points in 68 games. Not too shabby. There's that Buiam kid from Denver. He's also left-handed. Like, let's not.
Unless you think one of those guys is by far better than one of our left-handed prospects we have now. Like, you can always move one of our guys, like, I mean, that's a huge defense.
They would have to be better than Korchinski or Vlasic. Because, like, I feel like if you're going to get somebody this high, you're probably not trying to slot them in like, the third pairing for their whole career.
Fair. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, like, if you get a right-handed guy, like, if you get the Levshunov kid, like, obviously we're locked in with Jones for the next 6 years, but then that puts him in, like, has the ability to make that top two line. I mean, he can even take over the top two, like, if that's the case. But there's more ability to put him in while Korchinski and Vlasic are on the other side on either that first or second line as he gets older and grows.
Yeah, that makes sense. I honestly think it's going to come down to the two guys, Demjanov and what were we saying?
Levshunov.
Yeah. This is rough. This is gonna be a rough draft class for me with my names.
Yeah. I don't know if they end up looking at Caden Lindstrom. He's huge. He's 6'4". Holy shit.
Yeah, and I mean the Hawks don't just stop at number 2. With Vegas being knocked out and the Islanders being knocked out first round, that pick from Tampa is locked in at the 20th overall. And there's a good chance there's a good player that's going to slide down there because it always feels like there's one team that fucks it up for everybody and just creates havoc.
Yeah, I mean, especially with like the over the next month or so, right? There's like the prospect camp and like what's it called? The workouts, combine, and like. That's where Oliver Moore was just like, "Oh fuck, he's fast." Like it's legit. But like stuff like that comes out, and then you'll see like the final movement between like the guys there. So I'm curious if like that's going to affect anybody. If anybody slides, I honestly think like I'm kind of fingers crossing that Cole Eiserman keeps sliding down. Just like teams just keep valuing other guys ahead of him.
Yeah,
he's the highest fucking scoring U.S. national development team, like forward in the history of the fucking team, like higher than Cole Caulfield and everything.
Kessel, Caulfield, like
So just if you like, honestly, man, fuck. If we get defenseman at 2, Eiserman slides to 20, and that kid can just fucking rip, that'd be sick.
See, this is why I was kind of hoping we dropped to 3 because it's like
make the decision for us. Yeah, right. So I'm curious. What do you think? Like, if the Hawks go winger with Demidov at 2, do you think they look at defense for 20, or if they go with like Levshunov at 2, do they look for a winger at 20, or do you think that they're still sticking to like best player available on the board?
I think at this point, you go best player available. And I think that's not like the worst plan of attack, especially now when you're getting into that phase of the rebuild where they're going to start looking outside to add some pieces to this team. You're not adding long-term effects, but then it's like if best available, you let this kid develop for a couple years and then come time, what is it, 25, 26, see where they're at and then make a decision on there kind of thing. Let them develop for that. I think that's the way you go. I don't think they're in a position right now to be picky or not just not what I'm saying. They're not in a position to turn away best available,
they're not looking to fill a specific role or position.
Right. Every single position can benefit from being an upgrade, and whether it's draft or free agency or trade. So yeah, just focus on best available. And if you end up picking 2 defensemen first round, you pick 2 wingers, whatever, in KD we trust, man. I think he's going to make the right call, and he hasn't let us down yet.
I'm also curious if this is like going to be a seat. Oh, depending on who they pick, but like if it's a year where like number 2 doesn't make the jump to the NHL immediately, right? So I think Demidov still has a year, possibly. I can't remember from off the top of my head if he has a year left in Russia, and like the fact that I know there's something where he wouldn't sign like a longer term contract, and that's why he wasn't playing on the KHL team.
Interesting.
He might.
It's like he's got like NHL.
Yeah,
dreams.
He's got his sights on the NHL, and like even if Levshunov goes to like, I'm curious if he even like comes over immediately or spends another year at Michigan State.
How old is he? He'll be 20.
Levshunov?
Yeah.
No, he'll be 19 October 28th.
Okay, so it's kind of like the Korchinski situation.
Yeah, I guess so. I think Korchinski was drafted at 17. But he was going to be 18 by the time the season would have started, so that's why he was draft eligible.
See, yeah, now, I mean...
Demidov will turn 19 in December this year.
See, now that you think about it, that's tough, because it's like... Fuck, I don't know. Now I'm really like, I'm not sure, because now I'm like, now I'm thinking like, okay, if they're not going to be playing for the team this year, who do you think would benefit more in the future for the team by having another year to develop wherever they're at?
Yeah, and well, that's the thing too, because I think personally, if it's going to be a year for either of them, and then they come in the following season, I think maybe Demidov would be a better person to wait on.
Yeah,
because he's going to be fucking nasty. I don't know, but like, I don't know how much of an impact Levshunov would make like right off the rip.
And would there be a spot for him?
Yeah, because right now on the right side was Tenorti, and now with Murphy back, he would at least slot in like third pairing, so he wouldn't be like responsible for a lot of stuff. But that's only if he signs immediately and doesn't go back to the Michigan State, which may be the case, man. Like that's why he probably came over to the U.S. to go to college rather than like pursuing hockey in like Belarus or like anywhere in Europe. I'm just curious, like, what team do you think is going to go so fucking off the board that like somebody's going to be like Arizona does it? Also, do you think that maybe this year, like, KD will use some of his draft capital to try and move up still?
I think he will, because I mean he was trying to do it last year to get more.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll like probe around and see like what's available. Like who would move?
I'm pulling out the list right now.
Who would move their pick? It's fucking man, San Jose, dude. Getting lucky, getting 14 and 1. What last year they had like 2 pretty high picks, didn't they?
I think so. Didn't they have 4?
They had 4, and then I guess not. I thought some team had 2 picks before the Hawks had their second pick.
Well, here's the thing. All right, looking at
Arizona.
So looking at the 16, or I guess you can look. Yeah, no, because you wouldn't want to move up. You wouldn't want to move down. So I'm assuming you're talking about trading the 20th pick to move up.
Yeah.
Vegas. I don't think you're going to trade with Vegas, move up one spot. Islanders, Lou's not going to trade with anybody.
I don't think that they're trying to trade up to only still be outside of the top 10.
Right. But I'm just trying to go pick by pick here. Washington.
Right.
It's another one. St. Louis, Detroit. San Jose is not going to move 14. Minnesota needs these picks with their, well, I guess they're coming out of cap hell, but still they need to kind of rebuild their prospect. Philadelphia does not want to move down. If anything, they're probably pissed that they didn't move up at all. They might be trying to move up a little bit, try to mortgage that 12th or something. Buffalo, same thing. New Jersey, maybe.
I'm thinking New Jersey, maybe, or Calgary. Actually, Calgary's kind of like
Calgary needs to. They need to start rebuilding and adding pieces for when that rebuild starts because they have such a hard time getting people to stay there.
Right.
Seattle, I don't think will. Ottawa, who knows what they're going to do with that pick, if they are going to push it or keep it. Utah, I don't think they're going to do anything because they also have a million draft picks.
I feel like Ottawa should keep that, but the last time they kept a pick and pushed the one prior, that pick ended up being, I want to say Cale Makar.
It was somebody ridiculous.
Yeah.
No,
that wasn't Cale Makar. Okay, so at least that's I went to the right draft like right away. What did it end up being?
Because it was Colorado, right?
Yeah, it was the Colorado. When was 2018? I think is that when Brady Tkachuk was Brady Tkachuk was signed in drafted 2018. So that means 2019 went, and it ended up being 4th overall. Bowen Byram, that's what it was. Okay, so that's not that bad. That's not that bad because they ended up trading Bowen Byram anyway for Casey Middlestat.
And here's my thing with Ottawa. In theory, their team should have done better than what they did.
Yeah, and that's the same thing this year though.
But I'm talking about this. No, I'm talking about this year's team. Like they should have done better than what they did.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Realistically, I would be shocked if they repeated or did worse.
Yeah.
So I would take this year's pick, push next year's, and
unless they trade it, if they trade this pick, assuming that they're gonna they could get somebody more NHL ready for right now, like how they did with Brinksy, literally 7th overall, and I guess just then forfeit next year's when they're hopefully trying to push playoffs or something.
Yeah, I just don't see the Hawks don't have anybody that would make sense for Ottawa. You don't have a DeBrincat to trade them.
Mrazek. I wouldn't want to trade Mrazek for that. That would be doing Mrazek dirty.
So realistically, the only team I can see is New Jersey.
Yeah.
But even then, too, it's like, what do we have that New Jersey's missing?
Connor Murphy. Right? Connor Murphy would be great in New Jersey.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
I'm being dead serious.
Well, you're frozen there on the screen, so I couldn't.
Oh, yeah, I'm being dead serious. Connor Murphy's the only player that I feel like the Hawks could probably move plus the 20th and the 34th or whatever we have. Oh, Jesus.
That would be interesting. Unless the Hawks go completely off the board and just trade 20 to a later team and fall back in the draft.
I don't know why they would do that. Unless it's for some sort of prospect already.
I'm just spitballing hypotheticals here.
So the Hawks currently have 2, 20, 34, 54
and 62.
54 and 62, and that's all in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah. So they have 5 picks to work with.
And then they have 67 and 72. So
a lot of draft
7 picks in the first 75.
I'd be shocked if they used them. The second that he traded for all those, I initially was like, he's doing this to set up a trade.
Yeah.
Which
would be nice.
I don't think there's any chance. It's throwing me off at the site I'm looking at. I'm on that Tankathon, and I see Utah still the Coyotes logo.
Yeah.
It's throwing me off.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's exciting.
It is exciting. It's as much as I enjoy it, I wish it was back to Bedard days where it was we knew what we were doing, take the anxiety of it out of it.
I mean, this is the most hype that we get throughout the entire season, right? Because we're not in the playoffs. So, this is our excitement.
This is our playoff here, baby.
And so wait, the draft is going to be late June, so we have a little over a month and a half of who's it going to be.
Yeah, June 27th, I believe.
Are there any surprise guys coming up that might take over the second, or I mean, even the first? Who knows? So there's going to be somebody pushing like this guy should be first overall instead, kind of narrative, just to kind of create the drama.
Or like Montreal that one year in the last pick, they took the kid that said that he doesn't want to be drafted because of all the off-ice shit.
Yeah. Pretty sure they signed him. So.
Yeah, they did. I think he's played too.
I don't know.
Yeah, because there's a whole thing. Bettman had to come out and say that he was approved to play kind of thing.
Logan Mayu, isn't that what his name is?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he played one game. He got an assist.
Good for him.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot different than that. Like what fucking Mitch whatever kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. Draft talk is going to be going on for a while for us, and I think we should do that. We should try to like highlight an option each episode. Talk a little bit about a guy.
All right, sure. Like what to go 20 because it's really just going to be one of those two guys probably.
Yeah. I mean, you could even do like try to make a case for someone else at 2. I don't know. Just something to talk about. Something we can talk about off air.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
All right. So speaking of the team right now, let's move to some RFA signage. The Hawks announced today that Lucas Reichel has been extended for 2 years with a cap hit of $1.2 million per. This is kind of exactly in the ballpark we were talking about last week.
Yep.
Where is that? And I think it's a great deal. It's a low risk, high reward situation for the Hawks, and gives the 21-year-old a great opportunity to prove everybody wrong and come into next season with a little fire under him.
And you know what's really funny about that too? It just puts him on the same time frame as Korchinski, Nazar, Bedard. I mean, those are the big prospects, right? Like,
yeah,
they're all on the same time now.
We're gonna have an expensive offseason that year.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's good because I mean you're locking down the core, and
it's like 8 years.
Up 2 or is Khrushchev up next year?
Khrushchev's next year, but we can just get him a 1-year deal.
And let's just punt it. Everybody, we'll just punt everybody to 25-26, and then we'll deal with it then.
Yeah, it'd be good.
But yeah, I mean, what else can we say about this move that we haven't really talked about already?
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. I think, like you said, it's right where we were talking. Where you were like, should it be over $1 million? I was like, it's going to definitely be over $1 million. That's right where I thought it was going to be.
But it was like you had to ask the question. You had to. It's a fair.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he does this upcoming season. Now that he's kind of like had this tumultuous one.
And hopefully, I don't know if it was you that said it in our group chat, but it was like, hopefully KD could bring in a vet that can play with him and give him some line consistency. Mm-hmm. And, so he's not jumping up and down, from, first line, second line, third line. He's got a wing, this set of wingers one period. He's on wing the next period. Like there needs to be some consistency to have him be able to build. He just never had that going.
Yeah. I mean, the best hockey he played this all season was when Athanasiou came back.
Yeah. So you get a nice piece to put on that line with him, which I don't know. It might be Foligno, actually. Who knows? Because
that'd be nice.
You're probably going to be projected Taylor Hall, Bedard, and Khrushchev.
Oh, probably. I would assume that's the most likely case.
Yeah, and then unless you bring somebody in and put Foligno back on the third line like he was probably expecting to be.
Yeah, Steven Stamkos.
Yeah. But you know who it's not going to be?
Who?
Mitch Marner.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
I am so sick of already hearing these trade rumors about Mitch Marner coming to Chicago. I want nothing to do with this kid.
I don't. It's just literally the people are saying it's going to be Seth Jones for Mitch Marner because that's what I said.
You said it jokingly.
That's what I said. I said in our group chat, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, fucking Mitch Marner for Seth Jones. Like, who denies that?"
you said it, and we're all like, ha ha ha. And then I go on social media, and everybody's like making different picks for or proposals for this trade to happen. I saw one, the 20th overall, next year's first round. Seth Jones, Connor Murphy, and Lucas Reichel for Mitch Marner.
No.
I'm like, that's stupid. First off,
absolutely not. Like, why would the Hawks give up everything for Mitch Marner? That doesn't make any sense.
And even if for some reason they made a trade that we were like, oh shit, that was the deal. Okay, we can live with that. I would not want to bring him back on an extension.
I mean, that would be the whole point, right? Like they'd want to do that,
right? And he's a guy that like just seeing how he plays. Like we talked about in the group chat. He's not a playoff performer. He doesn't show up in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's good in the regular season.
He's got like I don't even know what. It's not like a superior complex or like what is. I don't know. He's like, to me, he just seems like a giant, like, crybaby. Like, he seems like a lock answer, like
a little bit.
Prima donna.
I can see that.
Yeah, there it is. Prima donna.
Oh, prima donna. Yeah, I mean, he's a part of a team that hasn't fucking done anything, but they all get paid like they have. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. When the Hawks gave the $10 million contracts to Kane and Taves, it's like they've accomplished so much already.
Yeah.
And like these guys are demanding like such big money, but like they're not fucking doing shit. It's kind of like, all right, I don't know. No thanks. No thanks.
And he's going to be asking for even more money from Toronto when they start talking about extension, which fucking good luck on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they'll be able to afford it because all you do is just not re-sign Jonathan Tavares. Jonathan?
Back Tavares over him.
Yeah, I mean, in the long run, like, it wouldn't make sense to bring back the guy that's, like, 35 versus the guy that's, like, 27.
Yeah, I don't know. I am just so out on Toronto. Like, I try to find ways to root for them in Game 7, and I couldn't. Like, not even them, like, seeing the Bruins lose was enough for me to be like, yeah, let's go Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I just knew they were going to lose. It did not matter to me.
I don't know. It's like they don't even have, like, the Chicago Cub lovable loser vibe.
No, they don't because they have the arrogance.
Yeah. Like, they act like they are the Yankees, buying their championships and all that, but they play like the fucking White Sox, who are 8-42 or whatever it is right now.
They're so bad, dude. They're so bad.
But yeah, I don't know. Mitch Marner to Chicago. Thank God he's got a no trade clause, because I'm sure he's going to veto anything that is coming out of Toronto unless it's handpicked by him, which I don't think he is going to pick anywhere else because he's from Toronto.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, is it a full no trade?
I believe so.
Sucks.
Him and Tavares. So either one of them, like, if you wanted to try
full no move clause. Yeah.
That's what kills me about Toronto too. I mean, I know this is Hawks talk, but it's like they can do nothing. There's nothing they can do.
No.
Without mortgaging their future to make it happen.
Yeah, they're kind of locked in.
They're fucked.
That's all right. I mean, they'll just keep banging their fucking heads on the wall, and that's fine. And then they never get out of the first round, besides the one time. It's all right. Seth Jones isn't going anywhere. We're not bringing in much Marner. It's all right.
Yeah. Last thing I have for Hawks talk here is Rock Vegas bounced in the first round of the Calder Cup playoffs to Grand Rapids. Lucas Reichel did have 2 sick goals in the elimination game.
Yeah, and it looked like he was playing center too. I was trying to see what his stats were for like face-offs. That's what I've been trying to look up the whole time you were talking about.
Do they not have? I feel like the AHL doesn't take good track.
It's a terrible system. I was trying to see if like consolidated stats. I might have to go game by game. Let me just see if I can find anything.
Well, you're looking up for that. You saying the position change too just reminded me. Did you see that for Team Canada, they have Bedard on the wing?
Oh, no, I did not.
Yeah, they got at least I don't know if it's like just the morning skate or whatever or like first practices, but yeah, they have him on the top line wing. So I wonder if we should have won the first overall pick and drafted the center.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe who's he playing with?
I'm trying to find that again.
Yeah, they don't keep track of face-offs in the AHL. What the hell?
AHL's like, yeah, like you can't.
Yeah, he's Lucas Reichel. I saw those 2 goals that he scored. It's pretty nasty. I was like, yes, please continue to do that.
Trying to find this tweet of the rosters. Gear Geek posted a picture of Bedard. He's got a special edition Team Canada Wrecker Pro stick.
Oh yeah,
it's got all the black with red with the Canadian flag on it. Fucking sick. He's still using his Blackhawk gloves.
Yeah, why not?
He's a Marchand type of player. He will only use one pair of gloves.
Yeah.
He wore the same pair of gloves his entire junior career. And he only used one pair of gloves this season with the Hawks. Okay, I can't find where these lines were. But yeah, Team Canada also sent home Celebrini and Fantilli. So they're not playing in the Worlds.
Okay. I was like, I had to think. The name sounded so like similar, and I was like, wait, who? It's like, oh yeah, okay. Celebrini and Fantilli.
PLD, Hagel, and Nick Paul joined the team. It's bugging me. Where is it? I don't know.
We're even finding this stuff for the World Championship stuff.
X.
Oh, well, I don't have that.
All right. Anything else for Hawks Talk?
No.
All right. Good. Let's move on to the NHL Talk. First round recap.
Yeah.
Hockey was played. We already know
some teams play better than others.
Yeah. Florida Panthers won their series 4-1 against Tampa. Florida just completely destroyed and owned. We talked about that one already. Boston Bruins kept a great tradition alive as knocking the Maple Leafs out in Game 7 of Round 1.
Called it.
This one went to overtime, so we add extra, pain.
The drama.
I just love Nylander. I know he had no chance, but like him just not moving on the back check on that goal. Like there's nothing he could have done regardless.
I'm going to say it over and over again. The fact that the puck went into the corner, came right out in front of the fucking crease, and Samsonov just stood there when he could have just batted it back into the corner if he just took a step out. Like, he just waited. He just waited for somebody to get it right in front of him.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how are you freezing up like that? It's just so stupid. And then he just, like, flopped to the ground. I was like, what a terrible fucking move.
I also think, though, if he would have tried to smack it to the corner, he probably would have put his own net, just knowing the Leafs. Like, can you that be in the end?
He was screwed no matter what.
New York swept the Capitals 4-0. Carolina 4-1 over the Islanders. And then in the West, Dallas Stars. Everybody's was Stars fans on Sunday. Knocked off the defending champion Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas Golden Knights have also announced that Mark Stone will be on the LTIR, expected to return Game 1 of the 2025 playoffs. But yeah, no,
we already know. That was considerations making his way back to Vegas over the offseason as well.
Yeah, right. That third period, I only was able to watch the third period of that one, but like Dallas, like they just looked like a completely different level than Vegas on that. Like just shutting down Vegas, making the big plays. Like it was like men versus children out there in that third period. So good for Dallas. We already knew Colorado beat Winnipeg 4-1. Vancouver holds on to win 4-2, and Edmonton 4-1 over LA. Every favorite teams that were betting favorites won that round, which is the first time in I think like 5 or 6 years.
Oh, Avalanche were a favorite in that?
They were the betting favorites, yeah.
because they were the only lower seed to win that.
Move on. Yeah.
Move on.
Yep, and that's the only one I got wrong in my fucking bracket too. God damn it.
I got a good handful wrong.
All right,
I always end up getting a majority of the Western Conference incorrect because I went Winnipeg, Nashville, and LA because I'm an idiot. But fucking does not matter because I always nail, except for last year, Toronto losing in 7. It's so good. It's so easy.
All right. Let's start round 2. Where do you want to start, the East or the West?
We can start the West. But I was the thing that I was trying to find, but it had to do with when we're talking about Dallas, just how nasty Wyatt Johnston is.
Well, let's start about this right now.
Yeah, that's right, because we're going to talk about them. But he was, if I could find it, that'd be so good. They had like scoring chance leaders for like here it is. Yes. Star scoring chance leaders for the series. Jamie Benn had 11 chances. Jason Robertson had 11 chances. Rupe Hintz had 12. Tyler Seguin had 14. Have you seen this before?
No.
Okay, how many do you think Wyatt Johnston had? Because Tyler Seguin had 14 scoring chances.
I'm gonna say 30.
31.
No shit.
31. Yeah, buddy. He was all over Vegas. And then
I was just saying like a comedically large number.
Right? And you're still slow. Dude, he's nasty. I can't wait. I hope he keeps on doing that shit because the Stars have just drafted incredibly well with the guys that they got because I believe him and Logan Stankoven are both 2020 draft year. And then you have 2017 as Robertson, Heiskanen, Ottinger. Like, dude, Dallas is becoming fucking Tampa Bay.
And Ottinger has been playing unreal these playoffs too. Like,
yeah, except for the first 2 games that they lost, and then man, every team needs to have their goalie being lights out, and that's the issue with. I mean, Colorado, Georgiev has gotten better, but that's also against Winnipeg, who isn't really the most offensive team. So we'll see. I still think that Dallas is going to take this series.
I do too. I think Dallas. I mean, I still have Dallas going. I shouldn't say that because I got to stick true to 21. My preseason prediction. But yeah, no, I'm taking Dallas in this one, and I think it's going to be a close series. I think it's going to be a middle between Colorado and Winnipeg and Dallas and Vegas. I don't think it's going 7.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be a quick series.
Yeah, it really depends on if they can shut down like Nate McKinnon and Cale Makar. So like I was saying, with them being drafted the same, it's 2021. Wyatt Johnston was drafted 23rd, and Stankoven was drafted 47th.
God, I can't wait for our draft classes to hit like that.
To just be fucking going off. Oh, also they got that Thomas Harley kid who's been playing with Heiskanen, who had an awesome season too. They drafted him first round 2019. So that's another fucking nailed it.
I don't know if he was like all series was playing this well, but the third period in Game 7, that's was it Sam Steele?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a fucking problem. Like he was the guy. Like he was just blocking shots. He was using his speed out there. Pickpocket in Vegas, like not letting them set up or anything like that. Dallas might be one of the more complete teams.
Yeah.
For sure in the West and probably in the entire league.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have like such a good mix of like young talent and like veteran talent. Just like the fact that they also went out and got Chris Tanev. They have Ryan Suter on like the back end, like as like the veterans. And then Esa Lindell, I didn't realize he was 29, so he's more of a veteran type player too. But then you have Miro Heiskanen, who's 24, Thomas Harley, who's 22, and then Nils Lundqvist, who's 23.
And what's even crazy too is that first round, Pavelski had like an off round. Like he really didn't do.
Oh yeah, he hasn't put in a point, so that's not going to continue.
Yeah, and then my last thing on this series is we have Suter versus Duchesne.
Yeah, isn't Suter going to retire after the season?
Or not Duchesne? Or no?
Oh, Suter versus
Parise.
Parise. That's what I meant. Parise is going to retire after this season.
Parise, this is it for him. So, all right, over to Canada.
Canada.
The last chance for Canada to win the Stanley Cup. Their last two teams are both playing each other, so there's only going to be one left. Yeah. Vancouver versus Edmonton. The series doesn't start till Wednesday because Pearl Jam was in Vancouver yesterday.
They each get like a week off almost.
Yeah. Interesting with this one is Vancouver, goaltending injuries. They were able to, rise above it against Nashville because let's be fair. I mean, Nashville's a good team, but like they're not anything spectacular when it comes to offense. Yeah. Demko is out through at least game 4. Game 5 could even potentially be pushing it. So they're gonna have to go back to Casey DeSmith and
Archer Solovs,
yeah, in goal. And I have a feeling they're in for a bad time.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different than the Nashville series. But watch, like I'm going to say, like they're going to get smoked, and then Vancouver is still going to somehow pull it off.
I hope they do. I honestly do. As much as like I picked Edmonton before in this preseason pick, the one the Stanley Cup was Edmonton.
Yeah,
so I'm riding with them, but I would love to see Vancouver move on. I really do like this Vancouver team.
I think that an Edmonton-Dallas series or Edmonton-Colorado series is like, Edmonton-Colorado series, that's a good one because McKinnon versus McDavid, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Dallas, I think, is still going to win because there's so much more of a complete team and they have better goaltending. Edmonton, like, it's funny because like this series, like these teams started the season and Vancouver smoked them twice in a row, scoring like 8 goals each game. And you're like, hey, if they can do that, just like how they did at the beginning of the year, like.
But here's the thing. That's 2 completely different Oiler teams.
Oh, yeah. It's also 2 completely different Vancouver teams, though, too, because they don't have Demko to start. Their biggest pickup was Elias Lindholm. Nothing else really moved on.
No, Patterson's kind of disappeared in the playoffs. I think he's only got like 2 or 3 points. I think it's only 6 assists, too.
Okay, yeah. Well, it doesn't mean that, I don't know. Like when you're talking about these guys not having points in the playoffs, like they're not the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like they can fucking turn it on in another series.
Right. No, I know. I'm just saying though, like up to this point.
Yeah, he's got 3 assists.
So it's like that's something you gotta kind of watch because it's either is it a snake bitten thing or is it more of a just like, all right, let's go pissed off. I gotta step it up type of thing. Like that's just the story I'm looking at. I'm not saying anything like.
I mean, if Silov's kid can keep it up, like he already had a shutout against Nashville. His goals against average is 1.7, .938 save percentage. I mean, like we said, it's a completely different team that he's playing, though. Like the offensive power is just through the roof compared to Nashville. But I don't know. We'll see.
How can they play? It's just how are they going to be able to play against McDavid, Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman?
I'm sure Zadorov's going to try and murder somebody, make it a little bit easier. Also, he hit 2 goals in the first series. That's so funny. I think one was a game winner.
So you going with Edmonton?
Yeah, just because I think that they're just going to overpower Vancouver. And like in terms of a defensive game, like LA was probably better defensively than Vancouver will be. But I don't know. I thought LA was going to put up a bigger fight.
All right, moving over to the East. Both series have already started. We'll start with the one that's playing right now for game 2, Carolina versus New York Rangers. The Rangers picked up the first one. In this series, it's tied right now 2-2 halfway through the second. I'm sticking with Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Rangers are buzzing, President's Trophy sweep in Washington. But much like we were saying, like Vancouver coming in against Edmonton's a different story versus their first round matchup. Carolina is up there with Dallas as the more complete team in the league, and this team is scary when they're clicking.
Oh yeah, and like that first game, I mean, didn't they push him to like the very end?
I think so. It was like what 4-3.
Yeah, 4-3. Seth Jarvis made it. I guess it was 4-2 up until like less than 2 minutes left in the game. Then they pulled within 1, but it's still going to be a much tougher matchup than Washington was. minus 37 or whatever their goal differential was.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that the Rangers actually picked up that first game. Just being off as long as they had been. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's Carolina in this one, and it's going to be, I bet you it goes 5.
Oh, really? I think this one goes 7.
7?
Mm-hmm.
And you're taking care?
Yeah, Carolina.
All right. And the other
honestly, fuck, I'll take the Rangers because they're gonna probably just pull it off. They're good. They're so good.
Something's going on with Panarin right now. Like his vibes are just like it's kind of hard to bet against his vibes.
Yeah, he's there to get what he's got a point tonight, and Lafreniere's got 2 goals. Lafreniere's first 2 goals of the playoffs right now, but I mean, there's only 4 games that would get a goal before.
Did you see Panarin talking about his goal? Like the reporters are asking about like him not passing over to Zibanejad for the hat trick, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been reading a lot of TikTok comments about what I should have done."
Hey, like, what was the secret to shutting down Ovi? Or like, how'd you guys like? What was the team doing differently to shut down Ovi? It's a secret.
Yeah, it's your secret.
All right.
All right, the last series here, Florida versus Boston. They played game 1 last night, and Boston surprisingly spanked them 5-1.
Yeah.
Bob, I turned it off after 3-1. Bob just got fucking sniped.
Yeah. You think it's a little bit of a wake up call to Florida that like it's not as easy as they thought it might be?
Is it that, or is it that the downtime versus a team that's essentially coming in, fresh, not fresh,
hot,
yeah,
hot off of game 7.
Game 7, knocking out Toronto, moving on. Yet nobody is giving Boston a chance. Everybody's talking about this Florida series, so of course the team coming in is going to have a little bit of chip on their shoulder. I'm still taking Florida in this one. I think that Florida's going to wake up. They're going to use this as kind of like, all right, there's your one. Let's go. And
I don't know. I mean, right now, Jeremy Swayman is fucking that guy right now. What? That sounded weird. Jeremy Swayman is literally that dude right now. He is fucking on fire. He cannot be like he's 6 games in a row of like 2 or fewer goals, and that's kind of disgusting.
It's literally going to come down to it. I know this is probably like a no dust statement, but it's like as far as Swayman wants to take this team, that's as far as they're going to go.
He's playing right now. I think he's playing like 2012 Jonathan Quick level goaltending in the playoffs because it's impressive as hell. You hear the doorbell?
Yeah,
it's my son. Whenever he comes home, he likes to ring the bell. It's really funny.
All right, so who are you taking this one?
I mean, I want to say Florida, but I can't bet against Swayman at the moment.
So we're taking Boston.
Yeah, I think Boston does it, and then like maybe they fucking like 5 games. Like, but do they do it in 5 games? Like, I don't fucking like Boston at all, but goddamn, is Swayman not a beautiful person?
Do they sweep?
Do they sweep them? Are they fucking pissed about last year?
All right, let's wrap this up here. Let's do the award predictions.
Yeah.
All of them except for the Ted Lindsay, which if I was a betting man, I'd say it's the same people that are up for the Hart.
Yeah, I would say that too. There's nothing too impressive goaltending wise or like defenseman wise.
Would the only one that possibly could make an argument to get into that Ted Lindsay is Austin Matthews for his 69 goals?
Yeah, maybe. Also because he is a finalist for not only did he score 69 goals, but he's a finalist for what the fuck is it? The Selkie too. To be like the league's leading goal scorer as well as one of the best defensive players is kind of just insane.
Yeah.
And then also getting bounced round 1 with scoring 1 goal. Pretty good. Pretty good at hockey. All right. So you want me to go through these and we'll just kind of rattle off like who we think is going to win?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Vezina is the first one on this list. Bob, Demko, and Hellebuck.
I'm going with Demko.
Oh, yeah?
I just think it was the surprise of it,
I didn't pull up the stats at all, but I'm pretty sure that Hellebuck had like top stats for the regular season. Yeah, he's a 921 save percentage. I think Bob had a slightly lower goals against average at 237, and Hellebuck had a 239. But Hellebuck also 37 wins, fucking 5 shutouts. Bobrovsky had 6. I don't know. I think just the .006 save percentage is going to be what gives Hellebuck the nudge.
For sure.
Next award, Calder.
Connor Bedard.
We all know who it is. It's Bedsy, Faber, and Hughes. Like, thanks for showing up.
Participation trophy.
Yeah, right. We just had to put 2 other names there. The Norris Trophy. It's got Quinn Hughes, Roman Josi, and Cale Makar.
Taking Quinn Hughes.
So that's the thing, right? Like, I think Quinn Hughes as well, but like Cale Makar also had. If he played all the games, he would have also been there. I think it would have been a lock for him.
Yeah.
Because right now, Quinn Hughes, 92 points in 82 games. Cale Makar, 90 points in 77 games. But Quinn Hughes does have a plus 38, and I think they take that into account a little bit more.
The tiebreaker is like, who's got the better plus minus?
Yeah. He was 75 assists, though. Like, goddamn, that's pretty
like, okay, hey, he's plus 30. What do you say, plus 38?
Yes.
Like, come on, guys, this is a defensive award. Let's take that.
Yeah, he was out there, playing defense. So yeah, I think Quinn Hughes gets it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cale Makar does too.
I'd be shocked to go see.
Yeah, right. Bill Masterton. This is kind of very subjective to whoever's voting on this, but it's Freddie Anderson, Connor Ingram, and Oliver Shillington. Best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey.
Ingram's a cool story. Like, kind of fell off and then had a great year.
Yeah, he got. Well, is he the one that went and saw a sports therapist, or like got off of like social media or something?
I'm not sure.
But I think Oliver Shillington, he like did not play for a long time. And it was just like he couldn't, I can't remember. It was just like mental for him. Let me see when I don't know. They all have like a good story where like it's a mentality thing for Shillington and Connor Ingram. Connor Ingram had a nasty season too.
Yeah.
And then Freddie Anderson is more of a like his injury issues. Yeah, so Shillington played his first game this year, January 25th. And his previous game before that was he was in the playoffs. So it would have been May 26th of 2022.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And so he had stepped away. I don't remember what the whole story was, but I think it was like,
It'll probably be him then.
Yeah. That's for being off for so long and then coming back.
Yeah.
I could see that. But I mean, who knows? That's not an easy one to predict.
No.
Jack Adams Award is Rick Bowness, Winnipeg Jets, who's retiring.
Oh yeah.
And Andrew Brunette with Nashville and Rick Tocchet with Vancouver.
Andrew Brunette with the comment of the year about it, talking about like, yeah, it's a great honor. And he goes, it didn't go really well for me last time because after I got nominated, I got fired. But
that's fantastic. I think he's got a little bit this job a little bit more locked down because I don't think Nashville was expected to do as well as they did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because Vancouver, I mean, all three of these teams well overperformed what they were expected.
Yes, and I think that's why Tocchet gets it though too, because they were. I don't know if Nashville missed the playoffs last year, but I know Vancouver missed the playoffs, and they had like just the start to the season that they had. The fact that they finished first in the Pacific after last year's bullshit, they just really huge turnaround there.
Yeah.
Jets made the playoffs last year, but they got fucking smoked.
to win the Pacific Division and almost, be in the President Trophy conversation up until the very end. Yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be Tocchet.
Yeah, I do too. Just the performance he got out of his players too was incredible compared to last year. I other than that though, Rick Bowness might get it just because he's retiring. That's why he announced it, right?
Yeah.
The award.
We'll let your votes.
Yeah. Lady Bing, so most gentlemanly player. Austin Matthews, who's up for this one too. Elias Pettersson and Jakob Slavin. It's just really who has the least penalty minutes.
I was about to say I don't know who's got the least penalties.
Who's got the least amount of PIMs? PIMs. Turned the other way. Regular season. Where's my filter for games played? Games played more than 60. Hello? I can't apply the filter. NHL!
Let's see.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Slavin 8. What were my other two? Patterson and Matthews. Patterson had 12. Sorry, and then Matthews, you're too high. Where are you at? He's not even in the top 30.
I think Slavin only have an eight minutes as a defenseman. That's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, when you're putting your stick in a lot of places that doesn't belong.
Yeah, I'm Slavin on this one.
And Matthews isn't even in the top 50 in penalty minutes. Seth Jarvis has fewer penalty minutes than Austin Matthews. It's just that Toronto bias. Slavin probably.
Speaking of the Toronto bias, Selke.
Yeah, right. Sorry, I'm trying to find what Austin Matthews literally has for penalty minutes.
Selke trophy is Barkov, Matthews, and Jordan Stahl. I feel like it's gonna be Barkov.
Yeah, like it always. People say he's so underrated. He's very underrated though. 14 PIMs. No. 20. What the hell? That's not gentlemanly. Yeah, dude. Austin Matthews, get out of here. Yeah, I would say it's gonna probably be Barkov. Though I think it is pretty crazy that Matthews is on that list.
Right.
Being the high, like the scoring the most goals and then being a defensive player as well.
In like his goals and then his like plus minus, and it's like you don't think defensive when you think Ovechkin, like
right. He was a plus. Austin Matthews was a plus 31 this season.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And he still couldn't do anything in the playoffs.
Still couldn't do anything in the playoffs. That's right. What's going on? What's in the water in Toronto? And then the final one that's available, the Hart Memorial, the one that everybody knew who those three were going to be for the past few months. Nikita Kucherov, Nate McKinnon, and Connor McDavid. Who does it go to?
It's tough. This is a really tough one.
I don't think it's tough at all.
You don't think it's tough?
No, absolutely not. I think it goes to Nikita Kucherov all day.
I would be surprised by it. I think McDavid has an argument because from how bad he started to almost catching these guys.
Yeah, but it's not like you can't create your own story. Like be fucking good all season.
I think it's Kucherov.
I think it's Kuch. Like the fact that like they both hit 100 assists. Like if it was just McDavid that hit 100 assists, then I could be like, okay, we have an argument. But he didn't do it alone. Kucherov also hit 100, and Kucherov is fucking most points in the league.
Poor McKinnon.
44 goals, 100 assists.
He has a time where it's like, yeah, finally, it's my time to shine, and then boom, here's somebody else.
Yeah, Nate McKinnon, 51 goals. 50 goals is pretty sick, but not that impressive anymore because 69 by Austin Matthews.
Nice.
89 assists. You know, that's not 90. It's not 100. 140 points. I think, I still think it goes Kucherov, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think there's more of an argument for all three of them than you're allowing to have, but
let's see. Kucherov also has the highest shooting percentage.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah, he's nasty. The only reason I see him not, if he doesn't get it, is just bias towards like the little Canadian boys, because everybody's trying to make the argument the whole season that like it should be McKinnon, it should be McDavid, and it shouldn't be Kucherov, and it's just because Kucherov was already in the lead for the fucking full year. He's sick. He's he had 13 assists in 4 or 5 games at the end of the year just to be so close to 100 assists. You're just like, what the fuck? Like, McDavid was the only one that was good, like in the hunt for 100 assists, and then Kucherov's like, oh yeah, wait, let me try this too.
We've come a long way from Jamie Benn, man.
Yeah, dude. How many players would have beat Jamie Benn this year? Do you remember what that stat was?
What was it, 89 or something he had?
Oh yeah. I was like, is it 89 players? Oh my god.
No, like it was 89 points.
Yeah, it was 89. He would be 20th in the league this year. Tied for 18th, sorry. 87? Okay, he would have been 21st in the league this year. That's crazy.
That's amazing.
I love it.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us.
That's about it. Go Hawks.
Episode 274, do you got a name? You don't.
It's like number 2? Who? Number 2?
I don't say second is the best.
First is the worst. But can you put, all right, so it's gonna be number 2 ? But the 2, yeah, spell it out. TWHO. Like to who?
TWHO.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah,
I got what you said. I got it.
Like
all
who number 2? Who? To who?
All right, episode 274. Make sure to follow us on your favorite podcast feed, Spotify and Apple Podcasts being the big 2. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, social media at WCB Podcast, and we will see you on the next one.
All right. Love you, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.